Hey everyone, today we're talking about something huge for teens and parents, getting that perfect smile. We are diving deep into clear aligners and we're going to break down exactly what you need to know to make the right choice. You know, for decades, the only real path to straight teeth involved a mouth full of metal. But now, you've got options. So the big question is, do you stick with the old school way, or is there a better, more modern approach that actually fits your family's life? Okay, so let's just put them side by side. The old way with braces, you've got the very visible wires and brackets, you've got that whole list of foods you can't eat, and let's be honest, keeping them clean is a real chore. But the new way with aligners, they're practically invisible. You take them out to eat whatever you want, and cleaning is just so much easier. All right, let's zero in on teens specifically, because it's really important to get this. You can't just treat a teenager's smile the same way you treat an adult's. It is a whole different ballgame. So, what makes it so different? Well, a few key things. For starters, a teen's jaw is still growing and changing. Then you've got their crazy, active lifestyle, sports, social events, you name it. And maybe the biggest factor of all, compliance. Actually making sure they follow the treatment plan. All of that has to be part of the equation. And that means a one-size-fits-all solution is just not going to cut it. That's why a provider like ClearPath offers a bunch of different options. You've got clear aligners for most cases, sure, but also things like invisible ceramic braces for the more complex jobs. They can even do a hybrid, mixing both treatments. That flexibility, that's absolutely crucial. Okay, so you're interested. How does this whole thing even get started? Let's walk through the journey, right, from that very first scan to holding that first aligner in your hand. The first steps are actually pretty cool and super high-tech. It all kicks off with an assessment from a certified orthodontist. And get this, you can forget about those nasty goopy molds from back in the day. Now, it's a quick, totally mess-free digital 3D scan. That scan creates this perfect, precise model of your teen's mouth, and the orthodontists use that to map out the entire personalized treatment plan from start to finish. And from that point on, it's really straightforward. Your teen gets a series of these custom-made aligners. They'll pop in a new set every week or two, and each one is shaped just a little bit differently to gently and gradually move their teeth right into their perfect position. So, we've talked about the how, the technical stuff. But what about the living with it part? What's it actually like day in and day out? Well, that's what we're jumping into next. Comfort, confidence, and that word we keep coming back to. Compliance. Honestly, the day-to-day benefits for a teen are just massive. First, the aesthetics. They're basically invisible, which is a huge, huge confidence boost for school photos, social events, everything. Then there's comfort. They're made of smooth plastic, not sharp metal. And because you can take them out, brushing and flossing are a breeze. No more struggling to get around rackets and wires. But, and this is a big but, for all those amazing benefits to actually happen, there's one golden rule. One number you gotta remember. 20 to 22. That's how many hours a day those aligners have to be in. No exceptions. It really all boils down to that one word, consistency. The more consistent they are, the faster and more predictable the results will be. Simple as that. All right, let's have some real talk about the journey itself. It's important to know what to expect, so we're going to cover the timeline, the checkups, and yeah, even some of the challenges you might run into. So, how long does this take? Well, it really depends on the person. If it's just some mild crowding, you might be done in as little as 6 to 9 months. For more moderate cases, you're probably looking at about a year to a year and a half. And for the really complex stuff, yeah, it could take longer, or that might be where a hybrid approach with braces comes in handy. Now, it's also important to be realistic about the limitations. We've said it before, but it's worth repeating. Success is almost entirely up to the teen's discipline. And while aligners are amazing, some really severe bite problems might still be better suited for braces. Plus, an orthodontist has to keep a close eye on how their jaw is growing to make sure everything stays on track. Okay, so here's a quick head-to-head comparison. When it comes to looks and just keeping your teeth clean, aligners are the clear winner. But for really complicated cases, braces might still have the edge. The biggest trade-off? It's that discipline factor. Aligners demand a lot of responsibility from the teen, whereas braces are, well, they're stuck on, so there's less to think about day to day. All right, let's talk about the end game. The results?
the cost, and most importantly, how to make sure that amazing new smile lasts a lifetime. Think of it as an investment in your teen's future confidence.
Let's talk money, because it's not always a simple apples-to-apples comparison. Aligners might look like they have a bigger price tag upfront, but you'll probably have fewer appointments and almost zero emergency visits for a broken wire. On the flip side, braces might seem cheaper at first, but you could end up spending more time and money on adjustment appointments over the long haul. The good news is taking care of the aligners themselves is super easy. Just a quick clean every day with some lukewarm water and a little bit of mild soap. Key tip, never use hot water. It can warp them. Always keep them safe in their case when you're not wearing them. And, of course, always brush and floss your own teeth before you pop them back in. So, what's the recipe for success? It really just comes down to 3 simple things. Number 1, wear them for those magic 20 to 22 hours a day. Number 2, keep them clean and keep your teeth clean. And number 3, show up for your checkups, whether they're in person or digital, so the orthodontist can make sure everything is moving just right. And that's pretty much the whole story. You see, choosing between aligners and braces is about so much more than just straightening teeth. It's about finding what truly fits your teen's life, their habits, and their personality. So the real question to ask yourselves is your teen ready for their smile journey?